There are moments in life when something strange happens inside us, a discomfort we can't name, a pressure we can't see, a heaviness that refuses to leave. Some people feel it in their chest, others in their stomach, others in their thoughts. It shows up as fatigue, pain, confusion, or a sense that something is stuck inside. And for years, we've been taught to treat these moments as random events, just physical problems, just chemical issues, just how life is. But what if that's only the surface? What if every block, every illness, every emotional knot is first an interruption in the way your inner energy moves? More than 2 decades ago, in a room filled with suits, microphones, and unread reports, one man stood up and spoke a sentence that made people uncomfortable. Your body is not just flesh. It is movement. It is vibration. It is energy taking shape. For many, it was too strange to accept. For others, too simple. But for a small group of people listening that day, it felt like hearing someone say out loud what they had always felt but never knew how to express. Today, you and I are going to explore that idea, not in a mystical way, not in a scientific lecture, but in a human way, a way that makes sense in daily life, in moments of stress, in moments when your mind races, or when your body asks for help. And by the end of this video, you'll have a simple, gentle practice you can do with your own hands right where you are to feel your inner energy directly, without needing belief or theories. Let's begin. The hidden problem we carry. If you've ever wondered why some problems keep returning, why certain emotions live in the same corner of your body, or why tension forms in the exact same spot each time, you're already touching the question people have asked across thousands of years. Why does energy stop moving? Because when energy flows, we feel alive. When it stops, something inside becomes cloudy. You know this feeling. When your thoughts spiral and don't settle. When your breath feels shallow without reason. When your back tightens the moment you think of something stressful. When your words hurt someone and you feel a strange ache in your chest. When sadness sits like a weight behind your eyes. We say these things are emotional or physical, but they're also energetic. Think of nature. Rivers only create problems when water stops moving. Lakes become murky when nothing circulates. Even the wind brings storms when it gathers too long in one place. Humans aren't so different. Every emotion you feel is movement. Every thought sends a subtle ripple through your body. Every word carries a frequency that your cells respond to. That's why someone's voice can calm you, and another person's voice can drain you. Words are not just sounds, they are vibrations. And when those vibrations repeat, whether peaceful or painful, they leave traces in the body. Modern research on stress shows something interesting. The body remembers emotional states long after the mind forgets them. Muscles tighten, hormones shift, breathing patterns change. Over time, these small changes accumulate until the body can't hide it anymore. Pain appears, fatigue grows, the immune system weakens. The ancient masters described the same thing in a different language. They said energy becomes stagnant, like a pond without fresh water. And when energy stops moving, life stops expanding. But here is the part most people never hear. The blockage is not the enemy. It is a signal, a message from the body asking you to return to yourself. Why we lose our inner flow. To understand why these blockages form, you don't need complex theories. You just need to observe your own life. Look at how often we fight ourselves. We eat in ways that don't match what the body wants. We speak words that exhaust us. We think thoughts that cut our own energy. We hold memories like stones. We rush through days without breathing deeply even once. And each time we do these things, something inside contracts. It's almost like the body whispers, "Slow down," but the mind replies, "Not now." Over weeks, months, years, these small conflicts build walls inside us, walls we can't see but definitely feel. Stress tightens the chest. Guilt sinks into the stomach. Fear sits in the kidneys. Anger burns in the liver. Loneliness lands in the heart. Overthinking clouds the head. And if we ignore these messages long enough, the body protests more loudly, in physical ways, in emotional ways, in ways we don't expect. When the ancient traditions spoke about energy, they weren't trying to mystify the world. They were trying to explain what people experienced every day. They said humans have three main centers of energy: the lower, middle, and upper fields. Each one is responsible for a different aspect of our being: vitality, emotion, and clarity. When energy rises smoothly, life feels balanced. When it gets stuck in one center, everything tilts. You may have days when your body feels tired, but your thoughts are overactive, or days when your emotions overwhelm you even though nothing happened. This isn't random, it's movement, or the lack of it. But here's the encouraging truth. The flow can return. Just as rivers clear themselves when the current restarts, the human system restores itself once energy begins moving again. The body wants balance. It is built for it. And you don't need complex rituals to begin. You just need awareness, breath, and gentle intention. The body as a living field. Let's go deeper. Every modern scientific field, from atomic physics to neuroscience, acknowledges that matter is not as solid as it appears. At the tiniest scale, particles blink in and out of existence. Waves behave like particles. Particles behave like waves. Space is not empty, it's packed with movement. Your body, when viewed through this lens, is not a collection of solid parts. It is a field, a swirling ocean of frequencies forming temporary shapes. Cells communicate with light. Heart rhythms influence brain waves. Thoughts create measurable electrical changes. You're not a statue. You're a vibration held together by consciousness. This is why your environment affects you so easily. A room with tension feels heavy. A peaceful place slows your heartbeat. A loving voice softens your breath. Everything interacts because everything moves. And inside you, the movement never stops. Even your emotions are patterns of energy. That's why when you think of a memory, your body reacts instantly, without delay. The energy of the thought touches the energy of the body. Ancient masters said the same thing centuries ago using poetic language. They described the human being as a meeting point between the energies of earth and the energies of the heavens. A bridge, a conductor, a living instrument. When this instrument is tuned, life feels harmonious. When it is out of tune, nothing feels right, even if everything looks fine. So the question becomes simple. How do we tune ourselves again? Returning to the flow. The first step is strangely simple: awareness. Most people live with blocked energy because they never pause long enough to feel what is happening inside them. They move from one distraction to another, never noticing that their breath has been tense for 10 years or that their shoulders have carried a weight they never agreed to carry. Awareness is like opening a window in a room that has been closed for years. The moment you feel what's happening inside, movement begins. The second step is gentle attention. Your energy responds not to force, but to kindness. When you observe attention softly, without trying to get rid of it, it begins to loosen. When you breathe into a tight spot, the body opens. When you place your hands on a place that aches, warmth spreads. It's not magic, it's how the body works. The third step is intention. Thought is a wave, a frequency, a direction. When you think, let this soften, the energy follows. When you say to yourself, I am safe, the heartbeat changes. When your mind whispers, I want peace, the nervous system listens. This is why words matter. Not because of superstition, but because speech carries vibration. When you speak to yourself with harshness, your energy contracts. When you speak with gentleness, your energy expands. Every ancient tradition understood this, from Taoism to Ayurveda to Buddhist meditation. They each taught different techniques, but the principle was the same. If the inside changes, the outside follows. Today, we're going to begin with something very simple. A practice that anyone can do. A practice to feel your energy directly. Not theoretically, not conceptually, physically. You're about to feel something you've always had, but perhaps never noticed. The practice to feel your energy. Sit comfortably. Relax your shoulders. Let your breath settle. Now bring your palms together and rub them gently. Warmth begins to rise. Friction wakes the centers in your hands that are sensitive to energy movement. After a few seconds, separate your palms by just a little, 5 to 10 centimeters. Hold them as if you're holding an invisible ball between them. Now, breathe in slowly through your nose and let your hands drift apart as you inhale. Then breathe out gently and let your hands return toward each other. Do this a few times. Pay attention to the space between your palms. Do you feel warmth? Do you feel a subtle pressure, as if your palms are magnets? Do you feel a soft tingling? You're not imagining it. That is your energy field. Let your hands move softly, as though shaping something delicate. Feel how the sensation grows stronger with your attention. The more you focus, not with force but with curiosity, the clearer it becomes. This simple exercise does something profound. It shows you that energy is not a metaphor or a symbol. It is real, and you can feel it without needing belief. And once you feel it, something inside you shifts. You stop thinking of yourself as a rigid body and start recognizing yourself as a living field. This is the first step toward inner balance, the microcosmic cycle. Now, let's take this a little further. There is an ancient practice described in many traditions that guides energy along a natural pathway through the body. It's gentle, it's calming, and it brings the system back into harmony. Close your eyes for a moment. Place your tongue gently on the upper part of your mouth behind your front teeth. This connects two major energy pathways inside the body. Now bring your attention to the lower part of your abdomen, below the navel. Imagine a warm sphere of golden light there. Feel it expand with each inhalation. As you inhale, imagine this energy rising slowly along your spine, all the way to the top of your head. Don't force it. Just imagine it as a warm current moving upward. As you exhale, imagine the energy flowing down the front of your body, past your chest, past your stomach, returning to the lower abdomen. Do this cycle slowly for a few breaths. Up the spine, down the front, up the spine, down the front. You may feel warmth. You may feel tingling. You may feel nothing at first. All are normal. What matters is the intention to move energy gently. Your body knows the pathway. Your breath helps the movement. Your awareness keeps it steady. This simple cycle calms the nervous system, clears the mind, softens emotions, and restores balance. When practiced regularly, it becomes a quiet companion, something you can return to anytime, anywhere. The inner transformation. If you begin to practice these two techniques, feeling energy in the hands and guiding energy through the body, something subtle shifts in daily life. You start noticing your breath before it tightens. You begin catching stressful thoughts before they spiral. You sense emotional heaviness earlier before it becomes overwhelming. Your sleep deepens. Your clarity increases. Your reactions soften. This isn't mystical, it's natural. When energy flows, life becomes lighter. Blockages start to dissolve not through force, but through gentle attention. You may find that old patterns lose their grip, that people's words affect you less, that your mind becomes quieter without struggling to silence it. You become less reactive and more aware. And the most beautiful part? You start hearing your own inner voice again, the one that is calm, steady, and sincere. Ancient teachers called this the inner guide. Modern science calls it intuition. But whatever name you give it, the experience is the same. You begin trusting yourself again. A return to yourself. As we come toward the end of this video, remember this: your body is not your prison. Your mind is not your enemy. Your emotions are not mistakes. They are movements of energy asking for attention. When you stop fighting yourself, energy starts to flow. When energy flows, the body heals. When the body heals, the mind clears. When the mind clears, the spirit rises. The path is simple, but it's not passive. It asks for presence, breath, and gentle practice. Not perfection, not pressure, just sincerity. If you've been feeling stuck, tired, unbalanced, or overwhelmed, try the practice from this video for a few days, not as a ritual, but as a conversation with your inner world. You may be surprised by what begins to change. And before you leave, I want to leave you with one question, a question that has the power to reshape your entire inner life. What would happen if, just for today, you allowed your energy to move freely instead of holding everything inside? Sit with that. Let it sink in. Your inner flow is waiting. Thank you for watching. See you soon.